أكاديمية التعريف بالإسلام. أكاديمية التعريف بالإسلام. أكاديمية التعريف بالإسلام.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful. Dear viewers, I welcome you to the second episode, which tackles a topic which is completely different from the topic tackled in episode 1. The topic here is talking about the creation of Adam and Eve and about Garden Eden. When we talk about it, the story of Adam and Eve, we notice that it has been mentioned in the Old Testament, and both Jews and Christians do believe in the story of Adam and Eve, but with alteration. A lot of tampering has happened with the story, to the extent that this alteration even touches and tackles dogma, and this caused what was called now the original sin, a very important concept upon which today's Christianity is based. But before getting into details, we'll talk about the preparation that the Creator has paved the way for human beings to find a livable atmosphere and surrounding that will enable humanity to live. This was exemplified in the creation of forests, trees, grass, food, power, and also the creation of animals and pets and cattle. And all these just function to be a preparation to make the universe suitable for living. Also, among the creation that happened beside animals and plants and so on, we have what is called the angels and the jinns. When we talk about the angels and the jinns, again, in the unseen, we do not see them, but we came to know about them through the revelation that came to Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. When we distinguish between angels and jinn, the angels are created to obey Allah, and they cannot but obey Allah. As for a human being, they do have the will, which is within the will of God, so they are liable to do good or to do bad. In other words, harness life to humans, human being, that Allah has harnessed life to humans in order to make it livable.
وَإِنَّ عَلَيْكُمْ لَحَافِظِينَ.
But verily over you are appointed angels in charge of mankind to watch you.
كِرَامًا كَاتِبِينَ.
Kiraman, honorable. Katibin, written down your deeds.
يَعْلَمُونَ مَا تَفْعَلُونَ.
They know all that you do.
كَلَّا إِنَّهَا تَذْكِرَةٌ.
Nay, do not do like this. Indeed these verses of this Quran are an admonition.
فَمَنْ شَاءَ ذَكَرَهُ.
So whoever wills, let him pay attention to it.
فِي صُحُفٍ مُكَرَّمَةٍ.
It is in records held greatly in honor.
مَرْفُوعَةٍ مُطَهَّرَةٍ.
Exalted in dignity, purified.
بِأَيْدِي سَفَرَةٍ.
In the hands of scribes, angels.
كِرَامٍ بَرَرَةٍ.
Honorable and obedient.
Now we talk about the nature of the jinn. They are, of course, blocked from our conception. they are similar to human being in the sense that they are accountable. They are accountable to obey Allah and to live by His order. And unlike angels, jinn are accustomed to obedience. When you talk about angels, they are accustomed to obedience. But jinn are not like this. They are liable to obedience or to go astray.
خلق الإنسان من صلصال كالفخار.
He created man, meaning Adam or Adam, from sounding clay, like the clay of pottery.
وخلق الجان من مارج من نار.
And the jinns did he create from a smokeless flame of fire.
فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان.
Then which of the blessings of your Lord will you both, meaning jinn and men, deny?
سنفرغ لكم أيها الثقلان.
We shall attend to you, O you two classes, meaning jinns and men.
فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان.
Then which of the blessings of your Lord will you both, meaning jinn and men, deny?
يا معشر الجن والإنس إن استطعتم أن تنفذوا من أقطار السماوات والأرض فانفذوا لا تنفذون إلا بسلطان.
O assembly of jinns and men, if you have power to pass beyond the zones of the heavens and the earth, then pass them. But you will never be able to pass them except with authority from Allah.
Iblis, or the devil rather, is among the jinn, and not unlike what some people, they have misconcept that he was among the, or part of the angels. Far from it. He was from the jinns. But he had a kind of false righteousness, to the extent that even angels were misled by his pretended righteousness. Of course, the Creator Allah, He knows this pretense, and but He wanted to prove to the angels His reality. Being deceived by this false righteousness, the angels requested Allah, God, that He will come to live or to be with them in heaven after He was on earth. So Allah granted them this request, and He came to be with the angels. And God has planned that He will prove to the angels the reality of the devil, that he was only pretending.
وَإِذْ قُلْنَا لِلْمَلَائِكَةِ اسْجُدُوا لِآدَمَ فَسَجَدُوا إِلَّا إِبْلِيسَ كَانَ مِنَ الْجِنِّ فَفَسَقَ عَنْ أَمْرِ رَبِّهِ أَفَتَتَّخِذُونَهُ وَذُرِّيَّتَهُ أَوْلِيَاءَ مِن دُونِي وَهُمْ لَكُمْ عَدُوٌّ بِئْسَ لِلظَّالِمِينَ بَدَلًا.
And remember when we, Allah, said to the angels, prostrate to Adam. So they prostrated except Iblis, meaning Satan. He was one of the jinns. He disobeyed the command of his Lord. Would you then take him, meaning Iblis, and his offspring as protectors and helpers rather than me, Allah, while they are enemies to you? What an evil is the exchange for the dhalimeen, meaning polytheists and wrongdoers and so on.
Of course, when we talk about the devil, we talk about a very important role that he played in the story of Adam and Eve. Because after all, he is the one who misled them and really got them to do what they did, that we'll talk about in details later on. The Islamic dogma that not only Prophet Muhammad but all prophets, just brought, because this is the same message, and it has to be the same message because the source is one. When we talk about this, that we emphasize that the Lord, glorified be He, is not in need of any of His creatures, because after all He is dominating the whole universe. On the contrary, it's human beings who are really in lack and in need of God. Of course, when we talk about humanity, we notice that Allah has given them a priority all over other creatures on the earth. This priority was exemplified in the sense that everything that has been created is created to serve human beings. Talking about the creation of Adam, we notice that some verses talks about dust, that he was created out of dust.
هو الذي خلقكم من تراب ثم من نطفة ثم من علقة ثم يخرجكم طفلا ثم لتبلغوا أشدكم ثم لتكونوا شيوخا ومنكم من يتوفى من قبل ولتبلغوا أجلا مسمى ولعلكم تعقلون.
He, meaning Allah, it is who has created you, meaning Adam or Adam, from dust, then from a nutfah, meaning mixed semen drops of male and female discharge, meaning Adam or Adam's offspring. Then from a clot, meaning a piece of coagulated blood, then brings you forth as children, then makes you grow to reach the age of full strength, and afterwards to be old, meaning men and women, though some among you die before, and that you reach an appointed term, in order that you may understand.
Other verse talks about clay, that he was created out of clay.
فاستفتهم أهم أشد خلقا أم من خلقنا إنا خلقناهم من طين لازب.
Then ask them, meaning these polytheists, O Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, are they stronger as creation, or those whom we, meaning Allah, have created, meaning others like the heavens and the earth and the mountains and so on? Verily, we, meaning Allah, created them from a sticky clay.
And another verses in the Holy Quran, it talks these verses about water, that he was created out of water.
أولم ير الذين كفروا أن السماوات والأرض كانتا رتقا ففتقناهما وجعلنا من الماء كل شيء حي أفلا يؤمنون.
Have not those who disbelieve known that the heavens and the earth were joined together as one united piece? Then we, Allah, parted them, and we, Allah, have made from water every living thing. Will they not then believe?
As for Eve, the creation of Eve, it is known and has been agreed upon that she was created from the rib of Adam. An atheist raised two objections with relevance to the construction and the creation of human being. The first objection goes as such. He argues that within the component or the construction of a human being, we don't have the silicon component, while it is known that sand is full of this component, silicon component. The second objection that he raised can be summarized as such, that within the construction of human being, we do have the carbon component, while it is known fact that this component does not exist within the construction of sand or dust. As a response to these two objections, and allow us, dear viewers, to take them one at a time. As for the first objections, it is clearly stated in the Holy Quran that that God, the Creator, has created man from certain parts of sand and not from all sand. So it's been clearly mentioned and stated and clarified in the Holy Quran. So it is part of the sand and not all the sand. And in addition to this, it is known that God Almighty, the all-knowing, the all-hearing, and the who created carbon component, who created silicon component, and who created man himself, there is nothing beyond his ability. He's the creator, and nothing will stand in the way of his might and ability. As to response to the second objection related to the carbon component, it is again stated clearly in the Holy Quran that man is created out of sand which has a smell. So it is a mixture of sand and water, and it is very well known fact and chemical fact that usually sand doesn't have any smell. But since we are talking in the Holy Quran that the type of sand that God has created man of had a sand, so it is a chemical fact that since we have this smell, so there must be an organic component. And what else but carbon component? The Holy Quran, it talks about, when it talks about the creation of Adam, it talks about three elements: sand and clay and water. So the question raises here, how can we, combine these three elements? The answer is clear in the sense that this dust or this sand is mixed with water in order to form clay. And then this clay became solid and changed into what is called, or what is like, pottery. After this stage, then we come to the stage where we have flesh and blood. A question here, why did Allah ordered the angels to prostrate for Adam? As an answer to this question, we might talk about three concepts. The concept of vice regent, that Allah has created Adam, or human being, as vice regent on earth. So when Adam was created, he was given the responsibility to look after the earth and to try to benefit and look after the planets, the animals, and also about the generation and about the plowing or agriculture. The second thing is the stance of the angels. This second element, in the sense that Allah has ordered the angels to prostrate for Adam in order to make them aware about this godly decision. So in the sense, because the angels will play a very important role in the life of human beings. So they will be involved in the life of human beings. The third concept, or the third element that we talk about, is what is the stance of the devil. itself or himself. The Lord has fated that this devil will be tested in order that Allah will reveal his real nature, that he was just doing kind of false pretense as to be obedience to Allah. With this, the angel will come to know about the reality of the devil, and they will discover that he was only pretending. We might raise this question. What was the response of the angels when they came to know that Allah has chosen Adam to be his vice regent on earth? Of course, we know that angels are obedient to Allah, complete obedience. So, in order to give a good impression about themselves to God, they thought that they might do the job, they might be qualified, and they want to prove that they are qualified to do the role, that is being vice regent of Allah on earth. This lead us to talk that Allah, glorified be He, He wanted to test both the angels and Adam. So, for example, Allah will show certain thing. For example, let's take it as an example. He might show to the angels a wooden bowl, a knife, a plow, or a saw. And then the question raises, first two angels, Allah asked them, what are these things and what are they used for? The angels couldn't answer, couldn't figure out what are these and what are they used for. Then the same question was addressed to Adam, although he hasn't seen these things before, but in his future life he'll be using, being a vice regent of Allah on earth. Surely these things will play an important role in his life, because it will be they will be used on earth. So Adam managed to figure out these things. For example, when he talked about the wooden bowl, how he talks that he will use it for drink, to that it will be container for the water and milk and so on. And when it talks about when he was shown the knife, he figured out that it will be used to cut fruits and so on. When he was shown the plow, he figured out that he will use it in order to plow the earth and for agriculture. And when he was shown the saw, he figured out that he will be using it to cut trees and the like. So this the result of this, that Allah has proved and made it obvious to the angels that Adam was really qualified and capable of playing the role. And what is this role? The role of being Allah's vice regent on earth. Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden. Just to recapitulate, we have mentioned before that the devil pretended righteousness to the extent that even the angels, they were deceived and misled by this pretense. To show his reality, the Lord, the Creator, ordered both the angels and the devil to prostrate to Adam. And here we should stop about this word prostrate. It is not a prostration that has any connotation with obedience or worship. It is just an obedience to the Lord himself, who ordered the angels and the devil. Of course, the response was positive from the angels. They prostrated to Adam, but rejection came from the devil, in the sense that the enmity to Adam started from the beginning. And not only that, more than enmity to Adam, is that it is kind of objection that questions. He is questioning the wisdom of the Creator, and this is a great sin. in the sense that his weak argument goes as such. Since you have created, addressing God, you have created me out of smokeless flame, while you have created Adam from dust, so it is known about the priority or what is better. This implies a very important, critical meaning, in the sense that the devil is questioning the wisdom of the Creator. And this is really a big sin. It is sin that beyond any description, to question the wisdom of God, who created the devil himself and created all the creation. So here we can summarize the stages that the story goes to reveal the reality of the devil. And also some of our scholars comment on this, say that the first disobedience that happened against God is pride or arrogance. And this is a message to us that arrogance might lead the person to really a very critical sin or a very critical disobedience to the Lord. To continue what we have previously discussed, we reach the stage or the event when the devil rejected and refused, out of arrogance and pride, refused to prostrate for Adam. So as a punishment, Allah has fated that he will not be in the company of the angels anymore. So the devil requested God that God will give him the chance to live until the end of life, with the bad and satanic intention that he is intending to continue his seduction and his misleading of Adam and his offsprings. Allah has granted him the request out of the idea or the concept that Allah, the Almighty, does not fear any of his creatures. After all, they are all, whether the devil or human being or the whole universe and creation, are the creatures of the great Creator. So Allah has granted him the request and allowed him to live until the end of the life. When this was granted, so Satan started to make warrants and threats that he will mislead Adam and his offsprings, and that he will continue to do this. Now the question is raised. If this is the case, why did Allah, God, allowed the devil to continue in the company of Adam in the Garden of Eden? And this question sometimes is raised by even atheists. They raise this, since God has cursed him and removed him out of his mercy, why did he allow him to continue to be in the company of Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden? The answer and the response can be summarized in the following. The Lord, glorified be He granted that Adam will come to earth in order as the vice regent on earth. So to prove that these threats done or uttered by the devil would not affect the righteous people, so he was granted this in the sense that God Almighty is certain that all his insinuation and misleading and seduction will affect only those who have a shaken faith. But all those godly people will not be ever affected by his insinuations. Coming back to talk about Adam and Eve, we can say that Allah has fated that Adam and Eve will be created by him, and they both were given will, whether to do good or bad. That comes, of course, within the will of the Creator. As for the story of Eve, it is known that she was created from one of the ribs of Adam. And they were created in order to be vice regent on earth. And at the same time, Allah has destined that they will be in paradise first before coming into earth, in the sense that they will sense the joy and the pleasure of paradise for those who are righteous of their offsprings later on. And also, Allah would like to pass a message to them about the greatness of disobedience to God, exemplified in submitting to the insinuations of Satan when he seduced them to eat from the forbidden tree. The question arises here, did Adam and Eve knew about the animosity and the seduction of the devil? Yes. The Lord has warned them that the devil will be their enemy, so they should be overcautious. Another question that raises every now and then, where is this Garden of Eden? Is it in the heavens or is it on earth? Of course, from an Islamic point of view, it is in heaven. It's not on earth at all, as some beliefs propagate. But from the Islamic point of view, Garden of Eden is in the heavens. Now, when we talk about the devil, Allah has given him talents, but unfortunately, he misused these talents in the sense of disobeying God, and also in the sense of using these talents to seduce and to mislead Adam and all his offsprings. With this talent given to him by God, the devil knew that Adam and Eve would never like to go out of these places in paradise. So he came to them from this gate, in the sense that Adam and Eve would like to live forever in these places, the Garden of Eden. So he came to them through this desire and this utmost hope, in the sense that if they eat from the forbidden tree, they will be immortal. Thus, they will continue to live the life they are enjoying. And it was from here that Satan, with his insinuation, came to mislead Adam. And also, talking about the offsprings of Adam, the devil has worked on two fronts. The front of immortality, ever life, no death, so continuing in paradise or Eden, paradise of Eden, and also to mislead the offsprings of Adam by encouraging them to be naked, to avoid modesty, and to avoid good conduct. Witness to this, that as soon as they ate from the forbidden tree, their private parts was revealed. So it is from this point of view that Satan tried to mislead. Then we come to talk about a very important linguistic matter, that the Holy Quran states that as soon as they tasted, not even fully ate from the forbidden tree, but they tasted the fruit of the forbidden tree. Everything was ruined. Their modesty, they were naked, they were revealed, and this is a hint that the person should not come even near the sin rather than to indulge in the sin itself. The story goes that Adam repented. And here a very important point. The Holy Quran says Adam disobeyed his Lord and became seduced. وعصى آدم ربه وعصى آدم ربه فغوى. So this is a very important point here to mention, that unlike other faith, we will not mention anything in order not to offend anyone. Other faith, they get or they claim that the cause and the element of seduction is Eve, and she is the cause of misleading Adam, and she is the one who misled Adam. And they talk about this apple where some part of it is eaten. It became an emblem. While in Islam, it was Adam who was blamed for disobedience, and the Holy Quran states very clearly, as says, Adam disobeyed his Lord and became seduced. This is just to be pinpointed in order to clarify things that maybe some non-Muslim are not aware of. Adam started to have remorse and to regret submitting to the insinuation of the devil, and he wanted to apologize. And Allah, glorified be Him, knew this, because He knows the unseen and the unspoken. So Allah revealed to him the wording suitable for repentance, which he uttered, and then both Adam, Eve, and also the devil came down to earth in order to play the role. And what is this role? The role is to be the vice regent on earth. Adam came with a lesson, or even with lessons. One, that he himself and he should also warn his offsprings to be overcautious and not to submit to the insinuation and misleading of the devil. Another message is not to submit to desires and whims, and try to strengthen faith.
وَلَقَدْ خَلَقْنَاكُمْ ثُمَّ صَوَّرْنَاكُمْ ثُمَّ قُلْنَا لِلْمَلَائِكَةِ اسْجُدُوا لِآدَمَ فسجدوا إلا إبليس لم يكن من الساجدين.
And surely we, meaning Allah, created you, meaning your father Adam, and then gave you shape, meaning the noble shape of a human being. Then we, Allah, told the angels, prostrate to Adam, and they prostrated, except Iblis, Satan. He refused to be of those who prostrate.
قال ما منعك ألا تسجد إذ أمرتك قال أنا خير منه خلقتني من نار وخلقته من طين.
Allah said, what prevented you, O Iblis, that you did not prostrate when I, meaning Allah, commanded you? Iblis said, I am better than him, meaning Adam. You, Allah, created me from fire, and him, you, Allah, created from clay.
قال فاهبط منها فما يكون لك أن تتكبر فيها فاخرج إنك من الصاغرين.
Allah said, O Iblis, get down from this, meaning paradise. It is not for you to be arrogant here. Get out, for you are of those humiliated and disgraced.
قال أنظرني إلى يوم يبعثون.
Iblis said, allow me respite till the day they are raised up, meaning the day of resurrection.
قال إنك من المنظرين.
Allah said, you are of those allowed respite.
قال فبما أغويتني لأقعدن لهم صراطك المستقيم.
Iblis said, because you, meaning Allah, have sent me astray, surely I will sit in wait against them, meaning human beings, on your, meaning Allah's, straight path.
ثم لآتينهم من بين أيديهم ومن خلفهم وعن أيمانهم وعن شمائلهم ولا تجد أكثرهم شاكرين.
Then I, meaning Iblis, will come to them from before them and behind them, from their right and from their left, and you, meaning Allah, will not find most of them as thankful ones, meaning they will not be dutiful to you, Allah.
قال اخرج منها مذءوما مدحورا لمن تبعك منهم لأملأن جهنم منكم أجمعين.
Allah said, meaning to Iblis, get out from this, meaning paradise, disgraced and expelled. Whoever of them, meaning mankind, will follow you, then surely I, meaning Allah, will fill hell with you all.
وَيَا آدَمُ اسْكُنْ أَنْتَ وَزَوْجُكَ الْجَنَّةَ فَكُلَا مِنْ حَيْثُ شِئْتُمَا ولا تقربا هذه الشجرة فتكونا من الظالمين.
And O Adam, dwell you and your wife in paradise, and eat thereof as you both wish, but approach not this tree, otherwise you both will be of the Zalimeen, meaning unjust and wrongdoers.
فوسوس لهما الشيطان ليبدي لهما ما وري عنهما من سوآتهما وقال ما نهاكما ربكما عن هذه الشجرة إلا أن تكونا ملكين أو تكونا من الخالدين.
Then Shaitan, Satan, whispered suggestions to them both in order to uncover that which was hidden from them of their private parts, meaning before. He said, your Lord did not forbid you this tree, save you should become angels or become of the immortals.
وَقَاسَمَهُمَا إِنِّي لَكُمَا لَمِنَ النَّاصِحِينَ.
And he, meaning Shaitan, Satan, swore by Allah to them both, saying, verily, I am one of the sincere well-wishers for you both.
فَدَلَّاهُمَا بِغُرُورٍ فَلَمَّا ذَاقَا الشَّجَرَةَ بَدَتْ لَهُمَا سَوْآتُهُمَا وطفقا يخصفان عليهما من ورق الجنة وناداهما ربهما ألم أنهكما عن تلكما الشجرة وأقل لكما إن الشيطان لكما عدو مبين.
So he, meaning Shaitan, misled them with deception. Then when they tasted of the tree, that which was hidden from them of their shame, meaning private parts, became manifest to them, and they began to stick together the leaves of paradise over themselves, meaning in order to cover their shame. And their Lord called out to them, saying, did I not forbid you that tree, and tell you, verily, Shaitan, Satan, is an open enemy unto you?
قالا ربنا ظلمنا أنفسنا وإن لم تغفر لنا وترحمنا لنكونن من الخاسرين.
They said, Our Lord, we have wronged ourselves. If you forgive us not, and bestow not upon us your mercy, we shall certainly be of the losers.
قال اهبطوا بعضكم لبعض عدو ولكم في الأرض مستقر ومتاع إلى حين.
Allah said, Get down, one of you an enemy to the other, meaning Adam, Hawa, meaning Eve, and Shaitan, meaning Satan, and so on. On earth will be a dwelling place for you and an enjoyment for a time.
We are still talking about the various concepts and lessons that we learn from the story of Adam and Eve. When we talk about the concept of the nature of the relation between Adam and Eve. Talking about Eve, it is known that, of course, by common sense, she is younger than him because he was created before her, and then she was created out of one of his ribs. She was shorter also when we talk about the height. So when we study the role of Adam and the role of Eve, or the role of male and female, we notice that a husband does not only play the role of a husband, but also as a guardian, a protector, a haven, and so on. And we notice that there are certain roles and functions that suits his nature as man, as a husband. For example, building and constructing buildings, the agriculture, the work that has some kind of hardship and an effort should be exerted. While women play a very important role. She is haven. She is the place of tranquility and create happiness for the tiring husband who's been working at night for the household. And not only that, she is the one who look after the children, teaching them values and good conduct and so on. So in other ways, we notice that there is a complementary role between both the husband and the wife. And these roles has been distributed and given according to the ability and the nature of the man and the nature of woman that suits their exact nature. So Adam passed these messages and remind his offsprings to be faithful, and also he remind them of what is called the Ten Commandments. And by the way, these Ten Commandments is the message of all prophets and messengers. These Ten Commandments is propagating everything which is of value, good morality, belief, and everything which is really in the favor of human being. When we come to talk about history, we notice that 10 generations, due to these advices delivered by Adam to his offsprings, no less than 10 generations, they were living a proper life in which they abide by the teaching and by values, by the Ten Commandments, and they continue to be as such until Noah was sent. Unfortunately, when Noah was sent, all the people, except very few, maybe 4 of his sons and few people of his tribe, the others, they were all non-believers, and they were disobedient to Allah's orders and teachings. Now there is a question worth asking. What is the period between Adam and Noah? The clear answer is God knows best, because neither in the Holy Quran nor in the prophetic traditions this period was mentioned or revealed. But when you talk about the Old and the New Testament, we notice that they claim in the New and the Old Testament that it was a short period. Not only that, they claim that Adam came to know Noah. And this can't be. It can't be in the sense that since we talk about 10 generations of the offsprings of Adam, and those 10 generations, they were virtuous, righteous, and they were on the right religion. Then suddenly it is a very sudden transfer, and this it can't be such, because when we compare between those 10 generations and then the people of Noah, there is a big difference. Those 10 generations were righteous people, believing and abiding by Allah's rules and regulation, while the people of Noah, they were, most of them, if not all, except 4 of his sons and few of his tribe, and the rest, they were unbelievers and they were rejectors of Allah's teachings. So common sense tells us that it can't be, this quick, sudden transfer. It couldn't take place. We know that reforming usually takes steps, and it is a gradual process. Another question worth mentioning here: what happened through or during this period between Adam and Eve? Because this period is long, it might reach even thousands or even millions of years. But how did this deviation happen? According to the Holy Quran, there were 5 righteous people. And those righteous people, they were loved by their tribesmen. And some books or some exegeses say that maybe they were also prophets. Who knows? The Holy Quran mentioned those 5 people, mentioned them under the name of Wud, Siwa, Yaghuth, Ya'uq, Nasr. So as I said, they were righteous people, beloved by their people, to the extent that they were righteous that some scholars, Muslim scholars, think that they were prophets. After they died, this is the chance for Satan, the devil. Since the devil came to tell them, well, those people are righteous, and in order to remember them, why don't you just make statues and picture of them, so you will keep remembering them and you will follow their footsteps. Then another insinuation and another seduction came by Satan, pointing to them in the shape of advisor, and why don't you make these idols in worshipping places, so you will be ever remembering those people. With time, Satan or the devil led them to glorify those people. Then glorification turned into worship, in the sense that he told them that those godly people can be intermediary between you and God. This is a stage. Then it led to the really most dangerous and hiddenest stage, and that is they moved gradually from admiring those righteous people into considering them as gods, thus worshipping them.
وقالوا لا تذرن آلهتكم ولا تذرن ودا ولا سواعا ولا يغوث ويعوق ونسرا.
And they have said, you shall not leave your gods, nor shall you leave Wad, nor Su'a, nor Yaghud, nor Ya'uq, nor Nasr, names of the idol gods.
وقد أضلوا كثيرا ولا تزد الظالمين إلا ضلالا.
And indeed, they have led many astray. And O Allah, grant no increase to the Zalimun, polytheists, wrongdoers, and disbelievers, and so on, save error.
Here came Adam to advise them, to warn them, and to tell them to be overcautious about the insinuation of the devil. But as it happens in every stage and time, there are some people who do not want this kind of reformation. It is in their benefit that those people will stay on unbelief, will stay as misled, and those who go astray. So they started or created animosity against Noah. They objected about his advice, and they tried to make his task, his noble task, a difficult one, to the extent that the very, very few people followed him. Even his wife and one of his 4 sons came against him. This shows you the suffering and the difficulty and the hardship that Noah, may Allah be pleased with him, has gone through. So he continued, and he did not submit or succumb to their animosity. It is known that he continued for 950 years without losing hope in trying to reform his people. But did they respond to him? No, except very, very few. At this stage, Allah has ordered him to build the ark, and they call it Noah Ark. So he started to build the ark, and what happened? They continued making fun of him. When they passed by him and he was constructing and building this ark, they were making jokes about him, and they were making fun about him, but he was patient.
ويصنع الفلك وكلما مر عليه ملأ من قومه سخروا منه قال إن تسخروا منا فإنا نسخر منكم كما تسخرون.
And as he was constructing the ship, whenever the chiefs of his people passed by him, they made a mockery of him. He said, if you mock at us, so do we mock at you likewise for your mocking.
فسوف تعلمون من يأتيه عذاب يخزيه ويحل عليه عذاب مقيم.
And you will know who it is on whom will come a torment that will cover him with disgrace, and on whom will fall a lasting torment.
Anyhow, he completed the building and the construction of the ark, and he was ordered by Allah to carry on this ark a couple or 2 pairs of every species. Noah warned his people of the great flood. They did not listen, and it is mentioned that a prerequisite or a kind of sign that to prove that the flood is not far away, we talk about the At-Tannur. At-Tannur can be translated as a volcano. Some of our scholars, they say it was a great giant volcano that erupted, and then flood came. The flood was not an ordinary flood. It constituted that rain, the sky was raining, and also the earth, there were springs coming out from the earth. So both water from the earth in the shape of springs and from the sky in the shape of rain met, and everything was under water.
حتى إذا جاء أمرنا وفارت النور قل نحمل فيها من كل زوجين اثنين وأهلك إلا من سبق عليه القول وما آمن معه إلا قليل.
So it was, till then there came our, meaning Allah's, command, and the oven gushed forth, meaning water like fountains from the earth. We, meaning Allah, said, embark therein, of each kind two, meaning male and female, and your family, except him against whom the word has already gone forth, and those who believe. And none believed with him except a few.
وقال اركبوا فيها بسم الله مجريها ومرساها إن ربي لغفور رحيم.
And he, meaning Noah, said, embark therein, in the name of Allah will be its moving course and its resting anchorage. Surely my Lord is oft forgiving, most merciful.
At this stage, when water was all over the place, Noah addressed his son out of the feeling of a father towards his son, and told him to ride with them on the ark. But out of unbelief, arrogance, the son refused, and he said he would look for a high mountain for protection. And there's nothing that protects and can stand in the face of what Allah has destined.
وهي تجري بهم في موج كالجبال ونادى نوح ابنه وكان في معزل يا بني اركب معنا ولا تكن مع الكافرين.
So it, meaning the ship, sailed with them amidst the waves like mountains. And Noah called out to his son, who had separated himself apart, O my son, embark with us, and be not with the disbelievers.
قال سآوي إلى جبل يعصمني من الماء قال لا عاصم اليوم من أمر الله إلا من رحم وحال بينهما الموج فكان من المغرقين.
The son replied, I will betake myself to a mountain. It will save me from the water. Noah said, this day there is no savior from the decree of Allah except him on whom he, Allah, has mercy. And a wave came in between them. So he, meaning the son, was among the drowned.
So water was all over the place, and he was drowned. Now some people talk about where did this thing take place. Of course, there are more than one opinion. First of all, they say that this ark was built by a mountain, and this is what mentioned in the Holy Quran, Al-Judi. They say that it was a great mountain. But the question here, where is this mountain? Well, there are more than one point of view. Some of view, they talk about Anatolia, eastern of Turkey. Others, they are talking about the African hill. And even some people who talk about Palestine, that maybe this mountain existed in Palestine. But the opinion that find a lot of support, that it was in Anatolia, eastern of Turkey. Now we come to those who were saved. Of course, Noah and all those who were with him on the ark. Among them is three sons of Noah, Shem and Ham and Japheth. And also some a few of the believers that they were with him. With this, a new era started of believers, a new generation who were believers and who went back to adopt and to practice the 10 Commandments.
أكاديمية التعريف بالإسلام أكاديمية التعريف بالإسلام أكاديمية التعريف بالإسلام